Hey guys, Joseph Sikora here, welcome back, and today I've got a bit of a trick for you, a bit of a piano chord trick. So how we can take some boring, ordinary chords and instantly transform them into something that sounds way more interesting. I love coming up with methods that simplify things for you, get you playing actual music, and also get you creative at the same time and experimenting. So we're going to tick all those boxes today. We're going to look at how we can take something like an F, C, A minor, G, chord progression, which, you know, we've heard it all before, it's fairly standard stuff, and turn it into something a bit more interesting like this. And that's just one example of an infinite number that you could come up with yourself, given the right methods and the right principles. So that's what we're going to explore. So what am I actually doing here? Well, let's break this down. Just use single chords for now. So we'll forget about chord progressions. We'll bring that in a bit later. So let me show you what's going on with single chords. So we'll take a C major chord like this, just a standard C major triad. Now, we're in the key of C. You can do this, you know, once you've learnt the method, you can do it in any key. But let's take C major, and it's going to be, this is chord 1 in the key of C, okay? So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 notes in the key of C, which is a C, an E, and a G, okay, which is our normal C major triad, 1, 3, 5. And then I'm going to explore every single note in the C major scale, okay? So we've got a C, a D, an E, an F, a G, A, B, and back to C, okay? So there's 7 notes to choose from there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 3 notes in the chord, I'm going to forget about them, so we're going to play those anyway, and then I'm going to pick just 1 note of the others that are available to me. So I've got 3 notes here already played. I've got 4 more notes that I can choose from. I've got a D, I've got an F, I've got an A, and I've got a B. And each one of these is going to give me a different flavor to the chord, okay? Now, there is lots of theory to go into this. You know, you've got flattened sevenths and augmented this and augmented that, and there's no need to worry so much about the theory, because once you get into the layers of the theory, then there is much more to this. But just, you know, keeping things simple, keeping things within the key, you can't go wrong with this, okay? Whatever you play following the method I'm about to show you will work, and it'll sound good. So take that C major, and if I add a D in there, we've got a nice sort of like the technical term will be an added second, like this, or an added 9. We've got, if we add an F in, okay, that'll be an added 4, because it's the 4th note in the key of C, in the 4th note in the C major chord. And then if I add an A, so I've got a C, E, G, and an A, okay, sounds pretty nice. And then of course I can add the B, which is the most distinctive of the lot. That's a 7th, major 7th chord. So that's a C, E, G, and a B, okay? So just by having the C major chord as our base, and then just adding any other note I want, just one of them, just adding 1 more note from the C major scale, I can instantly transform that chord into something which sounds a bit more interesting. So in a nutshell, we take our chord, C major, and we add any note we want to it from the C major scale. Now, when we change chord, so this is now bringing a chord progression into it, let's say we are still in the key of C, and let's say our next chord from C is going to be an F, okay? So let's say we move to F, which is chord 4. And incidentally, these 2 chords, the 1 and the 4, form the basis, the foundation of one of, you know, what can be the most epic chord progression ever. I have a video on it, you can check that out. So applying this same principle, okay, this same method, I've got an F, an A, and a C, okay, 1, 3, and 5 from the F chord. Okay, so that's F, A, and C, F major. Now, again, we're in the key of C. This is chord 4, the F major chord, in the key of C. So I'm going to use the C major scale again, and I can play around with, again, adding any of the notes into that chord. I've already got an F, I've already got an A, and I've already got a C, so I'm going to play those anyway. What other options have I got? Well, I can add in a D, so get this. I can add in an E, yeah? I can add in a G, and what else can I add in? A B. Sounds nice, yeah? So instantly I'm transforming that F chord And if you play around this method using any of the chords in the key of C, you'll end up with lots of different flavors and different tonalities that are unique to each specific chord, just because of the way that the chords will be formulated. So that's C, and we've got F. You know, we can do the same with A minor. So let's take A minor. We've got our A, C, and E, so I'm going to use those. What are all the other notes available to me? And this is another reason why it's great to be in the key of C to start with, because pretty much I can choose any of the white notes. I don't even need to think about it. So I could add in a D. Oh, well, let's go from it, from all the white notes, starting off from this A. So I could add in a B. Yeah, I could add in a D. I could add in an F. And I could add in a G. Okay. All of these, all of the different chords, all of these combinations are giving me lots of different flavors, lots of different chords that I know they work. Okay, this is the beauty about this method. Every single chord that I play technically works. And it's going to be down to you to now take a pen and a paper, write your chord down and write the note that you're going to add to it, and just play, experiment. What chords sound nice? What chords sound a bit strange? Those strange chords might sound nicer when they're played with another strange chord, you know? When you play those together, they might sound nice, but when you play them in isolation, they sound a bit crap. But that's all down to you experimenting and playing around with this method. So let's apply this method to an actual chord progression. We'll take a F, C, A minor, and G. Okay, so without any of this fluff on top, just an ordinary chord progression sounds like this. Should sound pretty familiar. I've heard it all before. Okay, so let's play around with this. My first chord's an F. Fantastic. What shall I add to an F? Let's add an E in. Okay? Why not? Let's try the E. Okay? Then what's my next chord? It's a C. I'll add a D in. Okay? Sounds right. A minor, so what can I add in A minor? Well, you can't go wrong with an A minor 7 chord, so that is adding that G in, but you can pick any note you want, but I'm going to pick G because I know it works. Here, and then I'll move to the G, and add the C in. There we go. So that would sound like this. So that is just one example. I'll take the same chord progression, use the same method and just play around with it and try other notes. So I'm going to start off with my F chord. Maybe I'll add a D in. Okay. This time. I'll go to my C and maybe I'll add a B in. So we've got that C major 7 style sound. So here, I've got my spice that up a bit. What else can I do? As you might have imagined, I've written a few of these down, which is what I want you to do as well. A minor and a B, so I could, there we go, sounds quite nice. And then I could play my G major and add a C in, okay? So this alternative example, I've got an F major with an added D, C major with an added B, A minor with an added D, and a G major with an added A. So we've got two versions of the same chord progression there, which sound, you know, it's got that same underlying chord progression feel about it, but it's got some different fluff on top each time. So it's given it a fresh perspective each time. And to me, it sounds pretty damn nice. So here's the kind of step-by-step method for you. First of all, understand what I'm actually doing here. Just taking regular triads in the key, whatever key I'm in, and then I'm adding any note I want, just one note extra from the scale, the major scale of that key we're in, okay? So understand what we're doing, and then just take one-off chords, okay? So play around with the A minor, add in any note you want, play around with the G, add in any note, D minor, we haven't even touched on these, D minor, E minor, all of the chords in the key of C. Just take them individually and play around with all the different combinations that you can get from that. The next step you can do is just take 2 chords and move between them. Get a pen and paper, write down your 2 chords. So for instance, I could pick A minor and F. So I'd write A minor, I'd choose an extra note, I'd put my little note down, and then I'll move to F. So I'll write F down and I'll write my little extra note out, and then practice just moving between those 2 chords. And then you can switch the extra notes around, stick to the same 2 chords. What other different combinations can I do? And instantly, hopefully you can see now how this can snowball into literally just an infinite number of things you can do. I mean, maybe not infinite, you know, nothing's infinite except the universe. But you can certainly be spending hours and hours and hours at this. And then after you've done 2 chords, take 3 chords, then 4 chords, and you've got a typical 4-chord chord progression there. So as well as those 2 examples we've already done, I'll give you one solid example to just have a go and practice if you want to just play something nice, okay? So let's take a C, G, A minor, and an F sequence. Again, very, very common. 1, 5, 6, 4. In the C major, we'll add a D, okay? In the G major, we'll add a C. A minor will add a G, and F will add an E. So that to me is a really nice sounding chord progression. And to be honest, when you start playing around with this stuff, you'll find chord progressions that don't particularly work, that aren't interesting to you. But you know, that's all part of the fun and all part of the process of developing your musical ear. One last thought as well, depending on the stage you're at with how comfortable you are with chords, you've no need to bring inversions into this. You know, you can just stick to root position triads like this, you know, okay? I'm being a bit fancy and bringing in different chord inversions. You can strip that out. This method will work anyway. So yeah, don't worry about that. Just stick to regular triads. So here are some examples for you to try. Kick things off, you know, get started, learn these so you get a feel for the actual method, and then get a pen and paper, write these out yourself. It's literally as simple as writing out your chords, writing out your extra notes. Job done, play it. And you can create so many of these, it's ridiculous. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stick around to the end because I've given you an example of where this kind of practice can lead when you start bringing in certain melody techniques and stuff. Do check out the information box down below where I've got some free resources for you, including the best adult piano practice plan. So if you're an adult and you're struggling with your piano practice and you want a really good, solid routine, you can check that out. Also, I have my top 5 piano exercises for beginners, which, yeah, don't really need to explain that, do I? Said it all. Extra sheet music and guidance notes for these videos are available on patreon.com/creativepianoacademy. So you can head over there, support this channel for as little as $5 a month and get some extra cool stuff. Do all these things that us YouTubers bludgeon you with at the end of these videos. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, as well as smashing that notification bell so you know when I upload new videos. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Hey.